Imagine a place where all the knowledge of the ancient world is gathered and then watch it burn. Shelves of papyrus scroll curl in the heat as panicked scholars desperately try to save brittle volumes. The Library of Alexandria, the greatest repository of knowledge in antiquity, is engulfed in flames. In that crackling inferno, thousands of years of wisdom turned to smoke and ash. What secrets vanished forever when history's greatest library was destroyed? Long before the Internet, Alexandria's library was the Internet of antiquity, the universal library of human knowledge. Founded in the 3rd century BC under the Greek Ptolemaic dynasty, this library had an ambitious goal: collect every book, every scroll, every idea in the world. Its shelves overflowed with hundreds of thousands of scrolls, some ancient writers say nearly 500,000. In its reading halls, one could find works by Plato, Aristotle, Homer, Herodotus, and countless others. Alexandria became the intellectual capital of the world, a city buzzing with scholars and scribes dedicated to preserving wisdom. The Egyptian port city of Alexandria itself had been founded by Alexander the Great. But it was his successor Ptolemy I and especially his son Ptolemy II Philadelphus who established the library. They created not just a library but a whole research institute, the Mouseion, dedicated to the Muses, patron goddesses of the arts and sciences. Here, knowledge was power. The Ptolemies poured vast wealth into acquiring texts. According to ancient accounts, any ship that docked in Alexandria had its books and scrolls confiscated and copied for the library's collection. The original might be kept in Alexandria, and a copy returned to the ship, if the original was returned at all. One legend even claims Ptolemy III borrowed the official original manuscripts of Aeschylus, Sophocles, and Euripides from Athens, paid a huge deposit, then kept the originals, anyway, forfeiting the gold because he valued those plays more than gold or silver. In Alexandria, knowledge was treasure. For the next few centuries, the Library of Alexandria flourished. It wasn't just a hoard of books, it was a living, breathing center of innovation and discovery. Some of the brightest minds of antiquity worked or studied there. Eratosthenes of Cyrene, for example, served as the chief librarian and used the library's resources to calculate the circumference of the Earth with amazing accuracy. Over 2,200 years ago, he figured out our planet's size within a few hundred kilometers using nothing but sticks, shadows, and math. Meanwhile, another scholar, Aristarchus of Samos, daringly proposed a heliocentric model of the solar system, putting the Sun, not Earth, at the center. Over 1,700 years before Copernicus would rediscover the idea. And that's not all. In these halls, Euclid compiled his Elements, the foundation of geometry studied even today. Hero of Alexandria tinkered with inventions and described the first known steam engine, a spinning device called an aeolipile, nearly 2 millennia before the Industrial Revolution. Galen, the physician, studied anatomy and medicine here, writing texts that would dominate medical knowledge for 1,500 years. Librarians like Xenodictus and Callimachus pioneered ways to organize knowledge. Callimachus even created the world's first library catalog system. But this great light dimmed all too soon. The library's decline began from within. In 145 BC, an Egyptian king, Ptolemy VIII Phascon, expelled many scholars during a political purge. The chief librarian at the time, Aristarchus of Samothrace, resigned and fled, and many intellectuals followed. Alexandria's golden age of scholarship began to wither without its scholars. Still, the books remained, for a time. Then came the fires. The most famous calamity struck during Julius Caesar's campaign in Egypt. In 48 BC, Julius Caesar became embroiled in a war in Alexandria, and to cut off his enemy's fleet, Caesar's forces set fire to the harbor. The fire spread from the docks and reportedly engulfed part of the library. By some accounts, tens of thousands of scrolls perished in this blaze. Did Caesar burn the Library of Alexandria? It's likely he did, at least a portion of it. Historical sources debate how much was lost. The library may have been rebuilt or salvaged afterward. In fact, the geographer Strabo, visiting Alexandria decades later, still mentioned a functioning Mouseion library around 20 BC, so the library survived that infamous fire, albeit weakened. As the Roman Empire took over, the library struggled on. Lacking the generous funding of the Ptolemies, it slowly withered from neglect. By the 3rd century AD, Alexandria was caught in turmoil. Around 270 AD, during the Palmyrene invasion and Roman counterattack, the city saw heavy fighting. What remained of the original Great Library was likely destroyed in this chaos. If it hadn't already crumbled by then, all that was left was perhaps the smaller daughter library at the Serapeum, a temple to the god Serapis where a portion of the collection had been kept. Tragically, even that last remnant did not endure. In 391 AD, the Roman Emperor Theodosius I, under the influence of zealous Christian officials, outlawed pagan temples. The Serapeum, which still housed what might have been the remaining books, was declared a pagan temple and thus targeted. The local Archbishop Theophilus led a Christian mob to demolish the Serapeum, smashing its statues and burning whatever books might have remained. Ancient eyewitnesses described violent clashes in the streets and the temple's treasures destroyed. In essence, by the end of the 4th century, the last echoes of Alexandria's library were gone. The glory of the Alexandrian library is now a dim memory. When it died, it was as if civilization performed a brain surgery on itself and erased huge swaths of its own memory. The loss was truly incalculable. Imagine if someone wiped Wikipedia, the Library of Congress, and the world's universities off the face of the earth. That's what the ancient world experienced. Centuries of knowledge, art, and history, gone. The story of the Library of Alexandria is both inspiring and cautionary. It reminds us how precious and fragile knowledge can be. If you found this journey through history as fascinating as I did, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to Chronicle Crafter for more captivating history stories. And now, I want to hear from you. Do you think the world would be more advanced today if the Library of Alexandria had never been destroyed? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching Chronicle Crafter, and until our next historical adventure, stay curious and keep exploring.